Hello, welcome to Ship Nuggets, your one-stop shop for leadership, followership, relationship, mentorship, stewardship, entrepreneurship, and worship. And I've been talking about stewardship, and I'm going to be continuing on the topic of stewardship. Like I said, stewardship is basically the process, ability, capacity to manage or to properly look after what was put in your hand. In other words, everything that we have right this instant, whether it's our relationship, finances, opportunities, they are opportunities for us to manage them. These things were given to us by God so we could manage them, we could grow them, we could increase them, for not just for our benefits alone, but for the benefits of humanity. And I said, and I stopped off by in the last video by saying that we have to embrace the call to stewardship. Yes, even though stewardship is not a word that people use in everyday conversation, but it is something that we need to kind of connect with, because it is essential not only for our personal development, but it's essential for the development of the things that have been entrusted to us. So I talked about embracing, stewardship and embracing the gifts and the things that have been given, not undermining them. And so for today, I want to talk about some reasons why we do not accept the responsibility to be good stewards or to be stewards of what we have. And the first reason I have here is the sense of unworthiness. We feel like, I'm not worthy enough to have these things. In fact, why should I even be bothered? These things, I'm not worthy enough to handle these things. Just think about the overwhelming sense of, knowing that you have something that potentially could save people, potentially could be a blessing to your family. Sometimes we get very intimidated by these things. We get very, overwhelmed by the things that we have to carry. And so we say, you know what, I'm just going to avoid it altogether. I'm not even going to bother about developing it. Some people who have been known to be great musicians, great artists, but because they didn't embrace that gift, they didn't take ownership, of the gift and properly steward the gift, they just ignored it because they felt, I'm not really worthy enough to handle this thing. So it just kind of died. Another reason is we undermine what we have. We think it's too small. See, for me personally, I grew up in Nigeria. I grew up in a society where you were either a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, and everything else is nonsense, And so if somebody were to come to the parents and say, well, I want to go study religious knowledge, or I want to study business, or I want to study art, you'll be looked upon with, disdain, because those were not jobs you did. You did not aspire to be an artist when I was growing up. You did not aspire to be a pastor when I was growing up. Those were not occupations you aspired to be. And so here I am with an artistic gift, drawing, and I'm like, this is too small. Compared to the environment that I'm in, this is not going to make any sense. So naturally, I undermined the gift, because the environment did not appreciate the gift. But I want to tell you, I don't know who's watching this. You may be in an environment that undermines your gift, but don't you ever undermine your gift. No matter how small people may say it is, never undermine it, because in that small gift are the big dreams. In that small gift are the big fulfillments. In that small gift are the big sources of joy. So let's never undermine what is in our hand. Many people undermine the relationships that they have. There are people that come in their life, and because they look at the people, they say, this guy doesn't seem to have it all right, or this girl doesn't seem to have it all right. They undermine the relationship. And because they don't take it seriously, that relationship is not properly managed, and then they lose out. And then that person ends up becoming somebody. And then they start regretting, oh, wow, I wish I had managed that relationship. I wish I hadn't looked down on that person. There's so many stories of young ladies who, a young guy will come up, and want to ask them out, and they're like, forget it, I don't want to deal with you. And not quite long after, the guy goes their way, they go their separate ways, and years later the girl is regretting, or the guy is regretting. I wish I had not undermined that relationship, mentorship relationship. People undermine it because they don't see, it's too small, they're too small, so what's going to happen? Let me tell you another story. There's a guy following YouTube, and right before he blew up, I had some form of opportunity of connecting with this person. But in my mind, I'm like, it's too small. I don't want to, have to deal with this. And in a social media driven world today, everybody's driven by numbers. So you can have a situation where you really want to connect with somebody, but then you look at their following, they have only 10 people, right? Or 5 people, and you're like, I don't want to deal with this person. But you may miss out on lots of germs, by not germs, G-R-M, but gems, G-E-M-S. Lots of beautiful things, because you undermine that person. You've undermined that gift. So don't undermine anybody. Don't undermine anybody. Most especially, don't undermine the gifts that you have. Another reason is we're intimidated by what people think. We're just intimidated by what, like I said, in the environment that you're in, you may be intimidated by what people say. Don't worry, you don't use that. Real estate? What are you talking about, real estate? Don't go there. Go do something else. No. Follow your heart. Follow where your strengths lead you. Follow where your potential leads you, and use what you have. So these are just some areas that I feel like we need to kind of look at when it comes to stewardship, in terms of embracing what we have. Don't feel intimidated by what people are saying. Don't undermine your gift, and don't feel unworthy to be a steward of what God has given to you. So that's all I have for now. I really hope you enjoyed this broadcast. Remember to comment, subscribe, and like. Share this video to all your friends. And remember, let's keep sailing to the top. Thank you.